this week's episode, I'm going to be telling you about some of the most haunted hotels in America. So, without further ado, let's get spooky. Number 1, 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Nestled atop Arkansas's Ozark Mountains and overlooking the Victorian village of Eureka Springs, the 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa is considered an icon of Southern hospitality. Still, welcoming smiles give way to a dark history. Called America's Most Haunted Hotel by ghost hunters and ghost adventures, the hotel was once used as a hospital run by radio host and inventor Norman Baker, who claimed to have the cure for cancer and was later convicted of mail fraud. Several ghosts are said to have checked out but never left, including Theodora, a cancer patient spotted fumbling for her keys near room 419, Brecky, a 4-year-old boy seen bouncing a ball, and Michael, who fell to his death during the hotel's construction. You may want to avoid room 218, his favourite hangout, where guests have reported seeing hands in the bathroom mirror and hearing a man screaming on the ceiling. For a friendlier ghost, look for Morris the cat, who was affectionately called the hotel's general manager for over 20 years. Number 2, Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado. Sure, this elegant, century-old hotel just outside Rocky Mountain National Park offers beautiful panoramic views. Still, its drop-dead gorgeous setting also inspired Stephen King to write one of the scariest stories of the last 100 years, The Shining. While there is no evidence of anyone having a violent the sounds of children laughing when no young guests are nearby, or experience faucets randomly turning on. In October, the hotel embraces its reputation by offering special Halloween packages with discounts for local ghost tours. Would you take a tour? Yes, I would. Number 7. Queen Anne Hotel, San Francisco, California. This glamorous Pacific Heights Victorian bed and breakfast is full of 19th century details like antique furniture, fireplaces in the guest rooms, and a salon for afternoon tea or sherry, and at least one rumoured resident ghost. Before becoming a hotel, the venue was a girls' etiquette school, but eventually shuttered and became a gentleman's club. However, the former headmistress of the school, Miss Mary Lake, was displeased about the sale, and she's not afraid to show it. Her spirit still likes to pull late hours patrolling the halls and hanging in her former office, room 410, like a posthumous protest. Number 8. Omni Parker House, Boston, Massachusetts. Lucky guests of this elegant hotel near Boston Commons may encounter the ghost of its founder, Harvey Parker, who likes to roam the halls of the 10th floor and appear as a misty apparition with a black moustache. Though he hasn't been seen for years, it's unlikely that he's gone for good. Reports of floating lights and the sound of a rocking chair on the 10th floor suggest his spirit is still lingering, and Parker isn't the only spirit here. If you're staying in room 303, you might catch a whiff of a long-time cigar-loving resident who still puffs his stogies. There have also been reports of the hotel's elevators mysteriously rising on their own, and sightings of a man in a stovepipe hat. Number 9. The Driscoll Hotel, Austin, Texas. Austin's oldest operating hotel is a luxurious landmark, but considering it's a 136 years old age, it's no surprise the property has its share of alleged ghosts. Locals tell stories of a young girl named Samantha who tripped on the hotel's grand staircase and fell to her death, but still lurks in the shadows. Listen for her giggles as she chases a ball down the steps, doomed to repeat her fatal mistake. Another tale details how 2 brides committed suicide on the same day in the same room, 525, but during different decades. However, the head soul in charge is the stately Colonel Jesse Driscoll, the hotel's original owner, who likes to pop up now and then to check in on his grand creation. Number 10. La Fonda on the Plaza, Santa Fe, New Mexico. This splendid hotel, located in the heart of Santa Fe, is a favorite with guests and ghosts alike. Though the current hotel was built in 1922, the site has seen its fair share of inns where murders and other gruesome acts occurred. You may encounter the spirit of the Honourable John P. Slough, a judge who was shot in 1867 and occasionally likes to shoot the breeze with the hotel patrons, a businessman who gambled away his fortune and committed suicide, or a woman who was murdered on her wedding night by a jealous ex. She's noted to appear in room 510, the wedding suite, of course. You know what, I just realised it's crazy how many murders happen in hotels, like what the heck. Number 11. Bourbon Orleans Hotel, New Orleans, Louisiana. Constructed in the early half of the 1800s, the Orleans Ballroom and Theatre, where the Bourbon Orleans Hotel now stands, was a lively place. Nevertheless, the ballroom was eventually converted into a convent that also served as an orphanage and medical ward during a particularly deadly yellow fever epidemic. Today, ghosts are said to roam the halls, including a Confederate soldier, a lonely dancer, nuns, and even children. Oh gosh, that seems very crowded in there. Number 12. Story Inn, Nashville, Indiana. The once thriving settlement of mostly abandoned during the Great Depression, and the last state acquired the surrounding area for public parkland. Today, the Blue Lady, one of Indiana's most notorious ghosts, haunts the Story Inn, a secluded hotel known for its rather inconvenient location in the wilderness. Believed to be the wife of the town's founder, Dr. George Story, the apparition has spooked hundreds of guests who have all recorded their encounters in the inn's guest log. She is said to have blue eyes, carry the scent of cherry tobacco, and occasionally leave blue items for guests to find. 13. Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast, Fall River, Massachusetts. If you remember the schoolyard chant about Lizzie Borden, the girl who gave her mother 40 whacks and her father 41, you're familiar with the gruesome axe murders at the site in 1892. While we'll never know whether Borden was actually to blame for her father and stepmother's death, many are convinced that their spirits still haunt the place. The 3-story home is now a historic bed and breakfast, but if you're too nervous to spend the night, you can opt for a 50-minute tour of the house and museum. Yes, I think I would take that option and not stay the night, thank you very much. 14. The Hollywood Roosevelt, Los Angeles, California. Located alongside the Hollywood Walk of Fame and just across the street from the Chinese Theater, the Hollywood Roosevelt is part of La La Land's storied history. In the mid-1900s, many big-screen legends stayed here, but none were as captivating as Mallory Monroe, who called the hotel home for 2 years. The blonde bombshell's ghost is said to still haunt the grounds along with Montgomery Clift, who lived in Suite 928 for 6 months while shooting From Here to Eternity. Today, some claim to hear the hotel heartthrob still practicing his trumpet. Too spooked to stay the night? The hotel is one of many stops along the LA Ghost Tour, which scours the neighborhood for paranormal activity. Number 15. Congress Plaza Hotel, Chicago, Illinois. Dating back to 1893, Chicago's World Fair, this iconic landmark in the South Loop has seen its fair share of historic visitors, including 2 presidents, international celebrities, and notorious gangsters. Unfortunately, some guests liked the accommodation so much that they never checked out. These lingering spirits include the ghosts of Al Capone, a man named Peg Leg Johnny, and a young boy allegedly thrown from the 12th story by his mother. However, the Congress Plaza is most famous for room 411, which accounts for dozens of creepy tales and prompts terrified guests to call security at the front desk. Number 16. Historic Hotel, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. This historic Bethlehem Hotel has a long history of friendly hospitality, so it's no surprise that some of its characters decided to stick around. There's a stage performer from the 1800s who still enjoys putting on a show in the lobby, an 18th century cabinet maker, and the former landlord of the Eagle Hotel, the hotel that was on the site before the historic Bethlehem, who caused quite a bit of stir around town. To meet one of these spirits, book the Room with a Boo on the 9th floor, aka Room 932, where many guests have previously claimed to experience paranormal activity. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty genius. Room with a Boo. I love that. Okay, so number 17, I'm not sure how to pronounce the hotel, so I'm gonna give it a go. The Sacagawea Hotel, Free Forks, Montana. this doesn't keep you up at night, know that several guests have claimed to see strange lights and hear odd sounds. Many have called the local police department to investigate the occurrences. Number 18. Hotel Sorrento, Seattle, Washington. Though Alice B. Douglas is best known for her life in early 20th century Paris, where she and life partner Gertrude Stein presided over a salon frequented by the likes of Ernest Hemingway and Pablo Picasso, she spent her youthful years in Seattle. Rumor has it that Alice returned to the Emerald City after her death, and her spirit is said to be on an extended stay at the Sorrento, one of the city's oldest and most elegant hotels. If you stay on the 4th floor, look for moving drinking glasses, as Alice likes to keep the party going and playing bartender in her afterlife. That's a bit of a stark contrast, that, isn't it? Paris and Seattle, Washington. Number 19. The Emily Morgan Hotel, San Antonio, Texas. The Alamo isn't the only haunted and historic spot in San Antonio. Designed in 1924 as an advanced medical arts facility, the Emily Morgan Hotel was once a hospital complete with surgical floors and a crematorium. After the Texas landmark became a hotel in 1984, guests have reported strange phenomena like lights flickering on and off, old phones ringing mysteriously, video cameras capturing orbs, and a woman dressed in all white who disappears and reappears in a flash. Some guests have described hearing the sounds of hospital guards outside of their rooms, while others report a strong scent of antiseptic and other hospital-like smells on the 14th floor. Number 20. Captain Grant's Inn, Preston, Connecticut. Built in 1750, this rustic bed and breakfast first served as a home of the eponymous Captain Grant during the Revolutionary War. American soldiers garrisoned in the home, and later the house sheltered escaped slaves on the road to freedom. Previous guests claimed to have seen ghosts dressed in colonial clothing, while other stories are a bit more run-of-the-mill, like electronics suddenly turning on and off, and the sound of footsteps in the empty attic. Oh my gosh, there's nothing worse than hearing footsteps in an attic when you know no one's there. So, I hope you guys liked some of those most haunted hotels in America. I'm sure there's plenty more, so I could definitely do a part 2 to that one as well, I'm sure. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already if you're liking this type of content. It really helps, but no pressure. I hope you have a creepy rest of your day or evening wherever you are, and I shall see you next time for another episode